Welcome everybody to the Hua Channel. I am the-Hua. I've been thinking a lot about wanting to upload a video, and I've tried different variations, going on a walk and trying different things, and I always find something wrong with it. But today I figure, you know what? Today is the first day I think I'm going to upload something, and why not as such a day as this, November 5th, election day. Um, Yeah, it's going to be very interesting coming up. And this is why I wanted to do this video on this day. And I thought, oh, well, what would be a good topic? And, I don't want to get too divisive in what everyone's planning to go for in terms of who the leadership should be of this nation. But I did want to bring some topics of direction. Uh, Direction being, you know, let's face it, we don't know what's going to happen. Heck, tomorrow we don't even know if we're going to get a result out of our endeavors of voting for this great nation. So with that, I figure, what the heck? Today's the perfect day to kind of do a video regarding uh, direction. Direction for myself being that I want to start putting up videos, doing some more entertainment. I've got a couple projects I've been working on in the background, as well as a lot of studying, video editing, studying different types of audio gear, audio synthesis, mixing techniques, you name it, and developing new projects, to further endeavor my own personal life. But it all comes down to direction, not just for myself, but direction for where are we going as a nation. These kind of things would lead one to believe that, for one, we definitely know that things are divided, and a house divided cannot stand. So, with that kind of wisdom underneath the endeavors that we're about to witness here in the next day, next week, next month, next several months, heck, next 4 years, we're going to see division really play out with inside this nation. So, as far as direction is concerned, I guess it's direction of where your heart is, where your mind is, where your soul is, your spirit, and your body is at. On the one hand, you could have the direction of I don't give, I don't care. I've lived that life for some time. Not currently, but I have lived that life where I just didn't care anymore. I'll just let the waves take me as they go. But when you get to a point where you don't like where the waves are taking you, you gotta change course. Not a lot of people don't know what that means. Heck, I don't even know what that means. I don't even think people older than me know what that means. A lot of people, especially in their elder years, people ask them, what's the meaning of life? What's life all about? Like, I'm still learning to this day, and I think that's what real life is all about: is learning, experiencing, and taking in the wisdom that you would need in order to figure out the direction that you'd like to go. Um, the direction I would like to go is, well, I'm a musician. I'm also an audio engineer. Um, those two hats these days, you actually have to know more than that. You got to be able to do video editing, production work, post production. You got to understand, aspect ratios and resolution sizes and a lot of computer stuff, which, in the end, they say that AI is going to take over. So there's that as well. That's always a fortunate outcome. So basically, it's when AI comes into the picture, people are already saying, well, the human endeavor is useless. Well, I beg to disagree on that. The human endeavor is not as fickle as what people would like to think it is. But back into direction. As far as direction is concerned, and being a house that's divided, one must prepare themselves for what's to come, whether that be financially, whether that be, family wise. You got to take into collection what truly matters to you in the long run. I think as a nation, we don't get the luxury anymore to not care anymore. Unfortunately, we got a lot of peoples with their head in the sand that care about a whole lot of nothing or care about a whole lot of the wrong thing. Now, I'm not one to delineate where one stands on that, nor do I care to actually, delve more into that aspect because everyone has their own kind of opinion or experiences uh, that shapes oneself into the kind of character that they are. For me, I want to be a uprighteous kind of character, honorable, and not someone that takes heed into the idea that I am useless. Because uselessness, that's just another form of depriving oneself of one's actual fortitude and one's actual drive to do great things. I don't know what kind of great things I intend to do, but I hope that the direction of my life will lead me to do great things, just like those before me have done. And just like those that have given us the affordability to commemorate this day. Granted, I know a lot of people don't think it is a commemorating, but think about it, the idea that we get to somewhat vote on our leadership uh, is a form of commemoration of something that at one time or another did not exist on this planet Earth. And we are afforded the right and the capabilities to do such. So I wanted to keep this video relatively short. That's kind of the end of my rant. I hope you guys come back, stay tuned onto this channel. I hope to do a lot of fun things, especially music-wise. Maybe doing reactions, to music or reviews to music, or who knows? I'll be doing reviews on gear that I have or gear that I get to work with, interact with other musicians. I hope to do some interviews here in the near future, and just bring to life uh, the things that people kind of lost during this division and try to just bring the cohesion back. And music to me is the one thing that can do that. So, without further ado, I figure I'd leave you with this fantastic video. I always want to say reaction. Yeah, of course, it could be a reaction depending on what kind of person you are. Could also be a nostalgia, and could be also something that you're gonna see for the very first time, and you're like, "Whoa, that was actually kind of cool." So what I'm going to actually be playing is something that was televised on PBS back in '93 on Capitol Hill. Something that I actually like to listen to on July 4th. Not this particular video that you're about to see, but something that I actually listen to as a song wise, but very, very poignant. And I think it gets to the heart at where we are at now. So anyways, let's get to it.
I walked through a county courthouse square, and on a park bench an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole's kind of leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've come to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night Francis Scott Key set up watching it writing, 'Say, can you see?' Got a little rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. It almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on though. It got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. In Flanders Field in World War I, she took a bad hit from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low by the time that one was through. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. The Native Americans, the blacks, brown, yellow, white, all shed red blood for the stars and stripes. And in her own good land here, she's been abused. She's been burned, dishonored, denied, refused, and the very government for which she stands has been scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare, and she's wearing kind of thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before, and she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, we bring her down slowly every night, we don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I guess I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
All right, guys. Well, that leaves it to it. I'm the-Hua. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Hope to see you guys too. And to the victors this evening, go to the spoils. Peace.